Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. It seems that companies are bending over backwards to destroy themselves. Last week we had the whole Ferrari over Jaguar. It's trying to push its product, although it's not actually showing us the product, but it was pushing its brand, I suppose, by using every letter of the LGBTQ MOUSE alphabet. And it was laughed at. It was a laughing stock. They've destroyed the brand. The wages of woke is broke. However, that, not to be outdone, was beaten massively by Arla and its white anthrax, or Bovia milk. Turns out that it's in all sorts of things. And instead of sort of doubles and trebles all round and patting themselves at the back as, hey, we've solved the big methane problem, they got an awful kicking from the British public, who's decided they don't want poison in their food. Next thing you see, Arla milk being poured down the toilet, or stores reducing Lurpak to 50p because they can't sell it. No one is touching Lurpak on the shelves. My local Asda has milk lined up and it's like half price because they can't shift it. They're desperate in trouble. Meanwhile, your organic milk's flying off the shelf. People have become aware of what's going on in the food chain. They don't like it. Quite right. We should not be given food contaminated by the likes of Bill Gates and his poisons. More of that in a minute. And I know Bill Gates is not related to Bovia, but he's got his own one, Rumin 8, which is much the same thing. It's the fact that they don't tell you. It's the fact that they force it on you and tell you about it afterwards. And then they say, oh, but there's no side effects. Well, no, how can there possibly be side effects when it's only come to the market? No one's done long-term testing on humans. Does it have a side effect on that you don't know about on, say, pregnant women or something? Nobody knows. It's far too early to say. There's lots of things that have been proven to be safe that have turned out not to be safe. I give you an example of a wonderful drug, an absolutely super drug that was handed out like Smarties. Thalidomide. It was brilliant. Tested in the lab. Fantastic. It was a wonder drug. Strangely, and people don't know this, thalidomide is still being used today because it's that good. But it's very strictly controlled, and they never ever give it to a woman without testing that she's pregnant, for example, for obvious reasons. But there's an example of something that was tested and found to be safe until it wasn't. And so the public reject. It's rejecting everything that's got even the remotest hint that there may be this milk product in the stores, so either in milk itself or in milk products. Indeed, myself, I've started buying Yo Valley. This isn't an advert for the Yo Valley. It just happens to be that that's the most convenient one to buy for where I live. There are other options are available. And that's absolutely fine. And if you want to go down that route and get your organic milk, at least you know what you're drinking is safe. What you're pouring onto your children's cereal isn't going to affect them. I mean, honestly, the vegans must be sitting back and sniggering, Maybe not so much the vegans, they don't do milk, but the vegetarians, they'll be sniggering at us. And so, we've got this position where you have to be very careful about what you're putting in your mouth. And indeed, I've not become paranoid about it, but I have sort of taken more of an interest on what I buy and where it's sourced. Now, on my little travels and travails and hunting around for this, I've discovered something else. And this does relate to the Bill Gates thing I mentioned earlier. Because a lot of supermarkets now, they want their fruit to stay fresh and look nice on the shelf. And so they've started spraying it, not the supermarket, the supplier, the wholesale, when it comes in. And they've started spraying it with a colourless, odourless product, like a sheen, if you will. It's perfectly safe, they say. And it helps keep fruit and vegetables fresher for longer on the shelves. It's made by Bill Gates, his company. He's got this food company. Why is he getting involved in this? Why is he getting involved in putting chemicals onto our food? This is the second time. Try doing it with the milk. Oh, damn, that's not working. Let's spray the fruit. Let's spray the fruit and tree. Now, I don't know if anyone ever read or watched, if you're old enough, I, Claudius. But Lavinia, who was married to Tiberius. Was it Tiberius? I think it was Tiberius. Anyway, she wanted him dead, but he wouldn't eat anything that she prepared. So in the end, he was paranoid. So he'd only go out and eat fruit off the trees. And Lavinia used to get up in the morning, go out and paint the fruit with poison. So he'd eat it and then he'd die. And you can't tell me that this isn't very similar when you're painting food with toxic chemicals that they say are safe. But as I say, they've said other things have been safe until they weren't. And so now we have to start questioning supermarkets about their fruit. Has this fruit been put? Is this fruit treated with Bill Gates' poisonous sheen, or is it clean? The supermarkets are refusing to answer. You can ask them, but they will either say we don't know, or you'll have to speak to corporate about that. Because they don't want to answer, because they know that if they tell the people what's going on with their fruit, they're going to end up with all this food on the shelf that nobody's going to eat, because it's going to be the Arla situation all over again. So why are corporations poisoning us with chemicals? Profit. Let's hope they're just doing it for profit, because otherwise there's an ulterior motive, and it involves reducing our numbers. Because if they're putting on chemicals that reduce sterility, I mean, that, of course, is that's a crime against humanity. But it's also a way of reducing numbers. Too many people. Ooh. There is a plan that, you have to reduce the population down to manageable levels. Nature will take care of that one way or another. But it's a frightening world we're living in. And questions need to be asked. And questions need to be answered. And we need to get the likes of Bill Gates in a chair, manacled to it, and forced to answer questions. Or we are going to be in deep, deep trouble very, very soon, and question every single piece of food that you eat and that you put into your children's mouths. It's frightening. The more I look into this, the more frightening it is when you see what they are doing to our food. Thanks very much for listening. Do take care, do question, and just be very mindful of what you eat. Thank you very much. Bye.